Megan is 26 years old. She makes $54,000 per year as a graphic designer. She has 7 active buy now, pay later loans right now. Klarna for a $300 jacket, Afterpay for $240 in skincare products, Affirm for a $600 laptop stand and monitor, Zip for $180 in home decor, Sezzle for $95 in shoes, another Klarna for $130 in clothing, and a new one she just opened yesterday, Afterpay for $162 in groceries from Whole Foods. That last one is different from the others. The jacket will last years. The laptop stand is a work tool. The groceries are gone. She ate them. She is paying installments on food that no longer exists. Megan is not unusual. She's the norm. 25% of buy now, pay later users are now financing groceries. That number was 14% 1 year ago. It nearly doubled in 12 months. Gen Z leads the trend. 33% of Gen Z BNPL users have financed groceries in the last year. They're seeking out loans for consumable goods that provide zero lasting value. And 41% of BNPL users paid late in the past year. Megan has paid late twice. Once on the skincare Afterpay, she missed the payment by 3 days and got hit with a $10 late fee, plus a $7 insufficient funds fee from her bank when Afterpay tried to auto-debit and her account was short. $17 in fees on a $60 payment. The other time was on the Klarna jacket. She forgot the payment entirely and got a $25 late fee. She is paying interest-free installment loans that come with fees that calculate to 38% APR when you do the math. Megan thought buy now, pay later was helping her budget. It is destroying her finances while she eats groceries she is still paying for 3 months later. My name is Bobby, and I spent the last 3 months investigating how buy now, pay later has shifted from financing discretionary purchases to financing necessities like groceries, and why this shift signals that household budgets are breaking for millions of young Americans. If you use Afterpay or Klarna or Affirm, if you have ever financed groceries or essentials because you did not have cash, if you have multiple BNPL loans active at the same time and you're losing track of payment dates, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. What I am about to show you is not whether BNPL is always bad or whether it has legitimate uses. This is about how financing groceries is a red flag that income is not covering expenses, and how BNPL's fee structure and lack of regulation is trapping people in debt cycles that feel manageable until they collapse. The Afterpay grocery trap is not about groceries. It is about broke people financing survival and paying premium prices to do it. The grocery financing shift is the canary in the coal mine for household finances. When BNPL first launched, it was marketed for big discretionary purchases: a $600 couch, a $400 pair of boots, a $200 concert ticket. Things you want but do not need, split into 4 payments to make them feel affordable. Groceries were never part of the pitch. Groceries are necessities. If you are financing necessities, your budget is broken. The fact that 25% of BNPL users are now financing groceries, and that number doubled in 1 year, means that a significant portion of consumers do not have enough cash flow to buy food. This is not about splurging. This is about survival, and it's getting worse fast. A February 2026 survey from LendingTree found that 41% of BNPL users paid late in the past year, up from 34% just 12 months earlier. Late payments jumped 7 percentage points in 1 year. That's not a rounding error. That's structural. When people start financing groceries and then start missing payments on those grocery loans, the system is breaking. Megan financed $162 in groceries from Whole Foods on Afterpay, 4 payments of $40.50 over 6 weeks. She made the first payment. She missed the second payment because it auto-debited on a day when her checking account was low and she had already used her overdraft buffer. Afterpay charged her a $10 late fee. Her bank charged her a $34 overdraft fee. She paid $44 in fees on a $40.50 payment. The groceries cost her $162. The fees cost her $44. Total cost, $206 for groceries she could have bought for $162 cash. She paid 27% more because she financed food, and the food is gone. She ate it in 1 week. She's still paying make payments on it 6 weeks later. The BNPL fee structure is designed to look like 0% interest while extracting fees that function as interest. Afterpay advertises itself as 0% interest. Technically true. You don't pay interest, you pay late fees. $10 for a missed payment, another $10 if you miss again. The fees cap at 25% of the purchase price for most providers, but that cap is meaningless when the purchase price is small. Megan's $40.50 payment triggered a $10 late fee. That's 25% of the payment. If you calculate that as an annual percentage rate over the 6-week loan term, it's over 200% APR. Credit cards charge 18 to 29% APR, and people consider those predatory. BNPL is charging effective APRs in the triple digits through late fees and calling it interest-free. The marketing works because consumers do not calculate APR. They see 0% interest and they think it's free money. It's not. It's expensive money disguised as convenience. A 2026 analysis from the USPIRG Education Fund found that half of BNPL users report problems, including overspending, missing payments, or regretting purchases. 41% of users paid late in the past year, according to LendingTree. 29% have paid late fees, according to Motley Fool research, including 39% of Gen Z users. The system is not working for the people using it. It's working for the companies collecting fees. The stacking problem is what makes BNPL catastrophic instead of just expensive. Megan has 7 active BNPL loans. That means she has 7 different payment schedules to track. Klarna is due every 2 weeks. Afterpay is every 2 weeks, but on different days than Klarna. Affirm is monthly. Zip is weekly. She has payments hitting her checking account on 7 different dates per month. She doesn't remember all of them. She has alarms set on her phone. She misses them anyway. A 2026 LendingTree survey found that 23% of BNPL users have had 3 or more active loans at one time. Gen Z and millennials are twice as likely as boomers to have multiple active loans. 71% of Gen Z BNPL users have multiple BNPL loans active simultaneously. This is not occasional use for a big purchase. This is chronic use to fund regular spending that exceeds income. Megan is paying a total of $327 per month across her 7 BNPL loans. That's 6% of her take-home pay going to installment payments on purchases she already made. And because the loans are short-term, 6 weeks to 3 months, the $327 per month is temporary. As loans get paid off, she opens new ones. She has been in a continuous BNPL cycle for 18 months. She always has between 5 and 8 active loans. She always has $300 to $400 per month in BNPL payments. This, she thinks, is budgeting. This is cash flow management through debt, and it is failing. The credit score misconception is making this worse. 62% of BNPL users wrongly believe that BNPL builds credit. It does not. Most BNPL providers do not report on-time payments to credit bureaus. Megan has made 43 on-time BNPL payments in the last 18 months. None of them helped her credit score. But the 2 late payments she made, those can get reported. Some BNPL providers send delinquent accounts to collections after 60 days. Collections accounts destroy credit scores. You get all the downside risk, late payments and collections, with none of the upside benefit of building credit through on-time payments. This is the opposite of how credit cards work. Credit cards report on-time payments. Your score improves as you use credit responsibly. BNPL does not report on-time payments. Your score only moves if you screw up. Megan thought she was building credit by using Afterpay responsibly. She was not. And the one time she missed a payment by more than 30 days, Klarna threatened to send her account to collections. Her credit score dropped 28 points when the collections threat appeared on her report, even though she paid it before it officially went to collections. She is being punished for using a product that was marketed as easier and safer than credit cards. The grocery-specific problem is that you're financing consumption with no residual value. When you finance a couch, you have a couch. If you stop making payments, you still have a couch. The value persists even if you're paying fees. When you finance groceries, you have nothing. You ate the groceries. They're gone. If you stop making payments on a grocery BNPL loan, you are in debt for food that no longer exists. This is psychologically destructive in a way that other debt is not. Megan looks at her Klarna app and sees that she owes $40 on groceries she ate 6 weeks ago. She doesn't even remember what she bought. She just knows she owes money for food that is gone. That creates a disconnect between spending and value that makes budgeting impossible. If every grocery trip turns into a 6-week payment plan, you lose track of how much you are actually spending on food. Megan thinks she spends about $450 per month on groceries. She actually spends $680 per month when you add up the Afterpay groceries plus her cash purchases. She is underestimating her food spending by 51% because the BNPL installments do not feel like grocery spending. They feel like bills. She budgets $450 for groceries, and she budgets $162 for Afterpay payments. She does not connect that the Afterpay payments are groceries. The mental accounting is broken. She is spending more than she thinks, and she cannot figure out why she is always short on cash. The insufficient funds fee double hit is the trap within the trap. BNPL loans auto-debit from your checking account. If your account does not have enough money when the payment processes, 2 things happen. 1, the BNPL provider charges you a late fee. 2, your bank charges you an overdraft or NSF fee. Megan's bank charges $34 per overdraft. Afterpay charges $10 for a late payment. A $40.50 BNPL payment that hits when her account is short costs her $84.50 total, the payment plus the fees. She is paying more in fees than the actual payment amount. This happened to her twice in the last 6 months. Both times it was because she lost track of when payments were hitting and she did not have enough buffer in her checking account. The solution is to keep a large buffer in checking at all times. But Megan does not have a buffer. She lives paycheck to paycheck. Her checking account balance ranges from $1,200 right after payday to $80 the day before payday. The BNPL payments hit throughout the month. If they hit during the low part of the cycle, she overdrafts. If they hit during the high part, she is fine. It is random. She cannot control it. And every overdraft costs her $44 in combined fees. She has paid $88 in overdraft-related fees in 6 months because of BNPL auto debits. That's $176 per year in fees just from the auto debit timing problem. She is paying $176 per year for the convenience of splitting payments. The income-expense gap is what BNPL is masking. Megan makes $54,000 per year. After taxes, her take-home is about $38,000. That's $31.67 per month. Her fixed costs, rent, utilities, car payment, insurance, student loans, and phone are $2,200 per month. That leaves $967 for food, gas, entertainment, and everything else. $967 is not enough. She spends $680 on groceries, $200 on gas, $150 on entertainment and eating out, $70 on subscriptions. That's $1,100. She is $133 short every month before accounting for any irregular expenses like car maintenance, medical costs, clothing, or gifts. The BNPL is filling the gap. She is using Afterpay and Klarna to cover the $133 monthly shortfall, plus any irregular expenses that come up. Over the course of a year, her BNPL usage totals about $3,400. That's $3,400 in spending beyond her income. She is going into debt by $3,400 per year and calling it budgeting. The BNPL makes it feel manageable because the payments are small and spread out. But the underlying problem, expenses exceeding income, is not being solved. It's being papered over with installment loans that accumulate and eventually collapse. The regulation gap is why BNPL is allowed to function this way. Credit cards are regulated under the Truth in Lending Act. BNPL is not. Credit cards must disclose APR. BNPL does not. Credit cards must provide dispute resolution for billing errors. BNPL does not in most cases. Credit cards cannot charge overlimit fees above certain thresholds. BNPL can charge whatever fees they want.
A 2024 CPFB rule tried to classify BNPL lenders as credit card providers under Regulation Z, which would have required billing statements, dispute rights, and refund protections. That rule was withdrawn in 2025. BNPL is currently unregulated at the federal level. New York proposed state-level BNPL regulations in early 2026 that would cap interest at 16% and late fees at $8 and require underwriting before extending credit. Those rules are not in effect yet. They're in public comment period. Everywhere else, BNPL operates in a regulatory void. Providers can charge whatever fees they want. They can auto-debit without clear disclosure. They can report to collections without reporting on-time payments to credit bureaus. They can harvest consumer data and sell it. There is no oversight. Megan has no recourse when Afterpay charges her a $10 late fee on a $40 payment. She cannot dispute it, she cannot negotiate it, she either pays it or the account goes to collections. The power imbalance is total. BNPL providers are extracting fees from the least able to afford them, and there is no regulatory protection. The behavioral design is predatory. BNPL is embedded at checkout. You are buying groceries. You get to the payment screen. There is a button that says Pay in 4 with Afterpay. You click it. It takes 15 seconds to set up an account. You enter your debit card. You're approved instantly. You pay 1/4 of the total now. The rest is spread over 6 weeks. It feels like you just saved money. You did not save money, you delayed payment. But the framing is pay later, which implies future you will handle it. Present you gets the groceries without the full cost. This is intentional psychological manipulation. The companies know that pay later triggers lower pain of payment than take out a loan. If the button said, take out a 6-week loan at an effective APR of 200% if you miss a payment, nobody would click it. But pay in 4 interest-free sounds helpful. It sounds like the company is doing you a favor. They are not. They are extending credit to people who do not have cash, charging hidden fees when those people inevitably miss payments, and profiting from financial stress. Megan has clicked Pay with Afterpay 47 times in 18 months. It is frictionless. It is embedded everywhere. Whole Foods, Target, Amazon, Sephora, Zara, Wayfair. Every retailer she shops at offers BNPL at checkout. The ease of access is the trap. If she had to go to a bank and apply for a loan to buy groceries, she would not do it. But clicking a button that says Pay Later feels harmless. It is not harmless. It is debt accumulation disguised as convenience. The comparison to payday loans is obvious. Payday loans are vilified as predatory. They charge triple-digit APRs. They trap people in debt cycles. They target low-income borrowers. BNPL does all of those things, but it is celebrated as innovation. A typical payday loan charges $15 for every $100 borrowed for a 2-week loan. That's an APR of 391%. Predatory. A typical BNPL late fee is $10 on a $40 payment for a 2-week period. That's an APR of 325%. Also predatory. The difference is branding. Payday loans are marketed to people who are explicitly desperate. BNPL is marketed to people as a budgeting tool. The outcome is the same. People with insufficient income taking out short-term, high-cost loans and getting trapped in cycles they cannot escape. Megan would never take out a payday loan. She thinks payday loans are predatory. She uses Afterpay constantly. She does not see that they are functionally identical. Both are short-term credit with hidden costs targeting people who do not have cash. Both create debt spirals. Both extract wealth from people who can least afford it. The only difference is that BNPL has better marketing and venture capital funding. What Megan should do is stop using BNPL entirely and confront the fact that her expenses exceed her income. Step 1 is to list every active BNPL loan, the payment amounts, and the due dates. She has 7 loans totaling $1,147 in remaining balances, with $327 in total monthly payments spread across multiple dates. Step 2 is to stop taking out new BNPL loans immediately. No more clicking Pay in 4 at checkout. If she cannot afford to pay cash, she cannot afford the item. This will be painful because it means she cannot buy things she is used to buying. That is the point. Her spending is unsustainable. Step 3 is to pay off the existing loans as fast as possible, starting with the ones closest to their due dates to avoid late fees. Redirect any discretionary spending toward clearing the BNPL balances. Step 4 is to build a small buffer in her checking account, $200 minimum, so that auto debits do not trigger overdrafts. This requires cutting spending elsewhere. She will need to reduce her grocery spending from $680 to $400. That means no more Whole Foods, shop at Aldi, buy generic, meal prep. The $680 she is spending is not sustainable on her income. $400 is the maximum her budget allows. Step 5 is to address the income-expense gap. She is spending $3,400 more per year than she earns. That gap will not close by itself. She either needs to increase income or decrease expenses. Increasing income means asking for a raise, getting a higher-paying job, or adding a side income source. Decreasing expenses means cutting her grocery budget, eliminating subscriptions, reducing entertainment spending, or moving to cheaper housing. None of these options are easy. All of them are necessary. BNPL is not helping her budget. It is allowing her to avoid confronting the fact that her lifestyle costs more than she earns. If you are Megan, or if you have multiple active BNPL loans, or if you have ever financed groceries or other consumables, the solutions are uncomfortable but clear. First, acknowledge that financing necessities means your budget is broken. This is not a moral judgment. This is math. If you do not have cash to buy food, your expenses exceed your income. BNPL is not solving that problem. It is delaying the reckoning. Second, stop using BNPL immediately. Delete the apps from your phone, remove your payment methods from Afterpay and Klarna accounts. Make it harder to use. If you cannot pay cash, you cannot buy it. Third, list every active BNPL loan and create a payoff plan. Pay off the smallest balances first to reduce the number of payment dates you need to track, or pay off the loans with the nearest due dates to avoid late fees. Either strategy works, just pick one and execute. Fourth, set up calendar reminders for every BNPL payment date and make sure you have money in your account before the auto debit hits. Overdraft fees will destroy you faster than late fees. Fifth, track your actual spending for 1 month. Every purchase, write it down, add it up, compare it to your income. The gap between income and spending is the problem BNPL is masking. You need to see the gap clearly before you can fix it. Sixth, if you are consistently short every month and you can't cut expenses enough to close the gap, you have an income problem. You need to increase income, or you need to radically restructure your life to cost less. Moving to a cheaper apartment, getting a roommate, selling your car and using public transit, eliminating all discretionary spending, these are not fun options, but they are real options. BNPL is allowing you to avoid those options by financing the gap. The gap will eventually become unsustainable, and you will be forced to make changes anyway. Better to make them now while you still have control. Megan is 26 with 7 active BNPL loans totaling $1,147 in remaining balances and $327 in monthly payments. She just financed groceries. She is paying installments on food she already ate. She missed 2 payments in 6 months and paid $88 in late fees and overdraft charges. She thinks she is budgeting. She is drowning. 25% of BNPL users are financing groceries. 41% paid late in the past year. The system is not working. It is extracting fees from people who do not have cash and calling it financial innovation. BNPL is not helping Megan manage her budget. It is masking the fact that she spends $3,400 more per year than she earns, and allowing her to delay confronting that reality until the debt collapses. She is financing survival, and survival should not require loans. You can keep using Afterpay to split your grocery bill into 4 payments and telling yourself it's helping you budget. Or you can recognize that financing food means your income doesn't cover your expenses, and BNPL is a symptom of a broken budget, not a solution to it. Megan is broke. BNPL is making her broker while making her feel like she is managing. The fees are real, the debt is real, the collapse is coming. Stop financing groceries, fix your budget, or the budget will fix you. I've been obsessing over this, so you see what BNPL is actually doing to household finances. If this makes you want to delete Afterpay, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.